And Storm Barra arrives overnight tonight. The worst impacts will be tomorrow morning with wind gusts of up to 80 miles an hour. We're expecting widespread disruption. And I think that it's just really bad timing again. A few weekends ago, we had a storm that was named and it arrived in the weekend when people were heading out for their weekend Christmas activities. And of course, in South Wales, where they had all the devastation, they're still recovering. They haven't had time to get themselves back to where they were with yet another storm. Whole of the UK. So I want to talk you through the future. I'm going to skip today for now. I'll come back to that in the forecast, but I want to show you what's happening and why. This is Storm Dara, been named because it's set to cause widespread disruption this weekend. It arrives, as Katie said, tonight and into tomorrow. The worst impact likely to be on Saturday. We start off with fine conditions for today, but then the band of rain arrives this evening. Not great for the evening commute, and if you are planning on heading away for the weekend, a miserable night to come. But it's as we see the low pressure returning, a deep area of low pressure, that tomorrow morning we see the worst impact. So I want to give you a snapshot of 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Yes, this is early, but this is when we're going to have our peak gusts of wind. We're looking at 39 miles an hour across the northwest of Scotland, 55 miles an hour across Northern Ireland. Then we're looking at 50 miles an hour across the Liverpool Bay Area, 67 miles an hour across northwest Wales, 37 miles an hour in London, 46 across Plymouth, and even to the southwest of England, 50 or 60 mile an hour gusts of wind. So it's these western areas we're going to see huge waves, the chances of trees coming down, power outages, widespread travel disruption. So whatever plans you have over this weekend, you need to check before you travel. But as Katie said, right now it's the calm before the storm. Having said that, last night was very wet and windy, and yes, reports of a mini tornado ripping off roof tiles and knocking down trees. So some disruption already this morning, but that's not from the storm, a separate incident. It starts off dry and bright. Skies are clear, a chilly start first thing with light winds and plenty of sunshine this morning. Very little going on as we head through the day today. But in the west, the first signs of the storm arriving as the cloud moves in, the winds strengthen, the rain arrives, temperatures arbitrary, but coming up from the southwest, it does turn milder. But as I mentioned, yellow warnings come into force at 3 o'clock this afternoon for both wind and rain, and the winds last until Sunday. The strong winds and heavy rain move right across the country, but this is spiralling area of low pressure that's really going to have a sting in its tail by first thing tomorrow morning. So it's Saturday morning through these western areas where we have our amber wind warning that potentially could be upgraded as we head through the day. These warning areas right down this western coast of gusts of up to 80 miles an hour, along with the heavy rain and the recent flooding, is likely to cause widespread disruption.
Actually that bad, as it turned out.
Yeah. What day are you going? So honestly, Saturday is going to be awful. I saw plans. I have cancelled all of my plans for this weekend. Honestly, you don't want to be getting people to travel to you. The trains are likely to be delayed. There's likely to be trees on roads. Bridges will be closed. If people are travelling by ferries or plane, there's going to be widespread disruption. So just getting to somewhere is going to be hard, and then going to an event in wind and rain is going to be miserable. I know Katie said that the market she's at is planning on staying open. I'm sorry, I wouldn't be going.
Thank you. Although you
the snow at Easter, yeah.
All right, thank you very much indeed.
Yes, a chilly start this morning, and it's the calm before the storm. We have a named storm arriving, Storm Dara, and it's named because it's set to cause widespread disruption, strong winds and heavy rain. Terrible timing for the weekend, whereas Andy said the most popular weekend to buy your Christmas trees, people heading out to Christmas events, they're likely to be disrupted or cancelled. Let me talk you through the warnings. Friday and Saturday, this is our rain warning. Small areas, not great news for Wales, still recovering from a storm in recent weeks, but it is the wind that is widespread. So a widespread wind warning. It's yellow, and it's Friday, Saturday and Sunday with wind gusts of widely 40 to 50 miles an hour, up to 60 or 70. But then we have our amber area through western areas of up to 80 miles an hour. And this area could potentially be extended or even have higher gusts. So that is the one to watch. That's where we're set to see the most widespread disruption. We start with fine conditions first thing this morning, clear skies, and that is why it's chilly. So plenty of sunshine greeting us. But already the storm arriving across the Republic of Ireland, this whole band of rain moving eastwards, and then the winds strengthen. So from 3 o'clock this afternoon, that's when our wind warnings are in force. We see the wind strengthening and then the heavy rain arriving. So for the evening rush hour and then all night long heavy rain. And then it says this low pressure returns by the early hours of tomorrow morning. that is when we're set to see some of the strongest winds. So normally I'd take you into our 7-day outlook now, but I want to give you more detail of what's happening tomorrow morning when we have our strongest winds around about 7 o'clock in the morning. No weather warning in force for the north of Scotland for wind gusts, but still up to 40 miles an hour. Northern Ireland, North Wales, 60 to 70 mile an hour gusts around these coasts, 80 for some areas, 50 or 60 for the southwest of England, and even 40 miles an hour inland. That will bring down trees, rip off roof tiles, bring down scaffolding that will cause train cancellations, road cancellations and ferries as well, and flights likely to be cancelled. So whatever mode of transport you're using, there's delays or cancellations, so do check before you travel. The strong winds and heavy rain moderate through the day. From 3 o'clock onwards, things start to improve. Good morning to you. We're into a very wet and windy weekend of weather ahead. Storm Dara has been named by the Met Office because it's set to cause widespread disruption. We have warnings for rain Friday, Saturday for small areas. Not welcome news for Wales, where we had recent disruption. But it is the winds that will cause the most widespread disruption. Warnings for Friday, Saturday and Sunday. They start at 3 o'clock this afternoon with gusts of 60 to 70 miles an hour. And an amber area for tomorrow. This warning in the west for up to 80 mile an hour gusts. So big waves here. Trees down, widespread travel disruption. More on that in a moment. Back to today. It is dry and bright to start and actually reasonably settled. The winds are light, clear skies, a chilly start first thing, literally the calm before the storm. And already we can see rain arriving in the west. And as we head through the day, we see the wind strengthening, the rain arriving. The warnings start at 3 o'clock this afternoon, just in time for school pickup and your evening commute home. And then the winds strengthen overnight tonight and that rain sets in. So by tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, this is when we have some of our strongest winds. So let's zoom down to the detail. Not only that, worth pointing out, snow. We haven't got a warning yet, but we're likely to have a snow warning across Scotland as the rain hits the colder air. But gusts right through these Irish Sea coasts of 70 to 80 miles an hour. Welcome back to Good Morning Britain. We have a storm set to sweep across the country, pretty much spoiling most people's weekend. It's named Storm Dara. We name them when they're set to cause widespread disruption, heavy rain and strong winds. Let me talk you through the warnings. We have small areas of rain warnings for Friday and Saturday, just the yellow, but not great news in Wales after the recent storm and the clear-up operation continuing. A widespread wind warning from 3 o'clock this afternoon, lasting until Sunday, gusts of 70 miles an hour. But the most widespread disruption will be through Irish Sea coast, where we have wind gusts of 80 miles an hour. So today starts off dry, fine and bright, but we very quickly see a band of rain moving in from the west, stronger winds, cloudy skies, and then the rain arrives. This whole band of rain sweeps eastwards. So from 3 o'clock onwards, expect the rain to get heavier and the winds to strengthen. They strengthen all night long. And then it's by tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock where we see these wind gusts right along this western coast of 70 to 80 miles an hour. Widespread travel disruption is likely, so check before you travel. No, not great news. We have a named storm heading to the UK, Storm Dara, and they are named when they're set to cause widespread disruption. This is what's going to happen. A deep low bringing with it heavy rain and strong winds. Here's the warnings. First off, rain for Friday, Saturday. For some areas have already had flooding, not welcome news, but it's the winds that will cause the most widespread disruption. A yellow warning for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, starting at 3 o'clock today, up to 70 mile an hour gusts of winds, but focusing the worst weather in this amber area through these Irish Sea coast, gusts of 80 miles an hour. This area is being looked at very closely by the Met Office for the severity of this, and the advice in these areas will be not to travel because of how ferocious the winds are set to be. So I want to take you to 7 o'clock tomorrow morning when the most widespread disruptions likely. Snowfall across the north of Scotland where the winds are moderate through these Irish Sea coasts. This is where we're set to have gusts of wind of 70 to 80 miles an hour. We are looking at bridge closures, trees down, widespread travel disruption and cancellations. So check before you travel if you have to.